TYT Sports, talking boxing with our guy Robert Exel, the editor-in-chief of boxing.com. Robert, how are you today?
I'm good. And yourself, Ray?
I'm doing good. We have a very intriguing fight on Saturday between Devon Alexander, the southpaw, and Marcos Maidana, the powerful, slugging puncher Argentinian from Argentina. You know, these guys they have this fight coming up, and it is this sort of fight where there's a lot to prove with Devon Alexander because, granted, he beat Lucas Matisse. However, there's still that cloud of doubt hanging over him from Tim Bradley, and a lot of people saying that he headbutted his way out of the fight. How big of a fight is this for Devon Alexander?
Well, it's a huge fight. I mean, it's a huge fight. It's the next huge fight in the midst of a huge career. I mean, he is a giant, especially in his hometown. But this is a major fight, and frankly, this is going to be a tough fight for him. He's not going up against a powder puff. He's going up against Marcos Maidana, who's one of the hardest hitters at his weight in the game. So Devon's going to have his work cut out for him.
You said the fight was in St. Louis. Just wanted to clarify, Devon Alexander is from St. Louis, so that could be a factor in this fight. We were talking off the air before. The fight got shrunk from 12 rounds to 10. Now, with the Amir Khan fight that Marcos Maidana was in, he was winning, as we call them, those championship rounds late in the fight. So how much of an impact? First, start off with this. How did the fight get changed from 12 rounds to 10?
Well, from what I understand, I spoke with Harold Letterman over at HBO the other day, and he said Alexander and/or Alexander's people had it reduced from 12 rounds to 10. So that's where at whose feet he lays the blame. But it certainly puts Alexander at an advantage where I think going in he didn't have an advantage. It's going to mean that Maidana's got to sort of kick it into gear earlier. He can't wait for the championship rounds because the championship rounds are now going to be rounds really 8, 9, and 10. So he's going to have to kick it into gear earlier and basically, uncork those punches from the opening bell.
How much of an impact, then, is it for Maidana that he cannot, granted, I mean, as I see it, it's a double-edged sword because Maidana's conditioning has not been that good. He said that he has amped up his training. He has a whole new strength and conditioning regime going into this fight. So does it help him more or does it hurt him more?
I think it won't make any difference if you want to know the truth. I mean, especially if he has conditioning issues, some of those conditioning issues will be resolved by having 2 less rounds to fight. But Maidana's a machine. He's a fighting machine. He's an animal in there. I mean, he is really one of the most exciting boxers out there today. I mean, he comes to fight, he comes to hurt, and his punches are thrown with bad intentions. So Maidana is an attraction, and whether we get to watch him fight 10 rounds or fight 12 rounds or fight 1 round, because he could flatten Alexander if he catches him. I mean, it should be a great fight.
Marcos Maidana was quoted as saying about Devon Alexander, he's uncomfortable at engaging. Do you agree or disagree with what Maidana said?
Maidana said this about Alexander?
Yes.
I don't know that is true. I mean, he ought to be uncomfortable exchanging with Maidana. I mean, he's going to have to box smart. He's not the guy you want to go toe-to-toe with. Alexander's got those skills. There's no reason for him to engage with Maidana. It's only going to be to his disadvantage.
Do you think that Devon Alexander is better against these sort of relentless, always coming forward, strong, aggressive punchers? Do you think that he is better against those sorts of opponents?
It would seem to be. I mean, styles make fights. I mean, there's something terrific about watching 2 sluggers go at it, But I'd much rather watch a slugger versus a boxer. I mean, that's that sort of beautiful elegance and eloquence when you have 2 opposites in the ring, both fighting the same sport, but 2 opposite styles. I mean, I love that contrast.
I do too. I really do too. It seems like the classic boxer versus puncher sort of fight. Let me ask you this. Devon Alexander, with that whole, again, as I said earlier in the interview with Tim Bradley, the whole controversy of being accused of headbutting his way out of the fight. Marcos Maidana, it seems like, is always going to get the call, win, lose, or draw with this fight because, as you said, styles make fights. So I guess my question to you is, why is that exactly? Why is it that Maidana will always get the call and Devon Alexander simply will not if he does not win this fight?
Well, once again, I mean, it's where do people's biases lie, whether it's the judges, whether it's the fans. I was recently watching Chavez Sr. when he fought Pernell Whitaker. And, of course, it was a fight against, like, the ultimate slickster, against the ultimate power puncher. And, again, the nod didn't go to Whitaker. It's because people like aggressive, forward-moving fighters. I understand why. I like them myself. But it shouldn't cloud our objectivity when it comes to the final decision.
Just a few more questions for you, Robert. Would you say that Marcos Maidana is sort of relentless and powerful, or would you say that he is sloppy and vulnerable?
I would say relentless and powerful. I mean, when you're relentless and powerful, there's a little bit of room for sloppiness around the edges. I think that may define Maidana, but it certainly doesn't limit him.
Let's go into the hypotheticals very quickly. If Maidana wins, do you see him possibly hooking up with Brandon Rios for a major, major fight? Granted, if Rios beats Yuriorkis Gamboa.
Well, it sounds terrific. I'd love to see it. I mean, we got to get you a job as a matchmaker. We're going to move you into another profession.
I mean, that would be, doesn't it seem like that would be the next best fight for Marcos Maidana?
Yeah, a terrific fight. I'd love to see it. I mean, I'd love to see Rios. I'd like to see Rios, shopping at the deli. I mean, Rios is fabulous. Another, just incredible athlete, and another athlete who's putting it on the line. I mean, to his credit, if the two of them to meet, it would definitely have a fight of the year potential written all over it.
Alexander certainly does have power. He knocked out Juan Arango. As we said earlier, he's from St. Louis. The fight is in St. Louis. The rounds got shrunk down from 12 to 10. Hypothetically, if he wins this fight, it seems like everything is in his favor as of right now going into the fight. If he wins, what could be next for him?
Well, I mean, it's a great division. I mean, it's a rich division, but I mean, if I were Alexander, I wouldn't be looking ahead. I would really, because if he's looking ahead now, he's going to be looking behind come Sunday morning. He's got a really tough test in front of him, and whether it's in St. Louis or whether it's on Neptune, he's going to have his hands full with Marcos Maidana.
We've seen this sort of controversy in the past, even last weekend, with the hometown guy getting the hometown judges on their scores. How much of an impact does it mean to this fight that Devon Alexander is from St. Louis and the fight's in St. Louis?
It gives him an advantage going in. I mean, we know that. We know there are hometown decisions. There's hometown cooking. But there are different promoters involved. It's a different jurisdiction. It's not in Texas. And I think we're going to see a fair fight. I think both fights are really going to be excellent on Saturday night. I
hope so. It's a question that I hate to ask, but seeing the past and even the past year, it's a question that I feel that needs to be asked. Finally, what do you think about this fight? Do you think Maidana pulls it out in St. Louis, or do you think Devon Alexander advances his career with this fight?
No, I think Maidana pulls it out. He's not going to pull it out by decision, but it wouldn't surprise me if Maidana catches him and they stop the fight early.
What round are you thinking?
I'm thinking 6 or 7.
6th or 7th round? Okay.
Yeah, I think Maidana's going to come out with the 6 guns blasting.
I just hope there isn't any controversy. That's truly, truly all I hope. I hope it's clean. I hope it's an honest judgment if it goes to the scorecards. I believe Maidana will win to the public. But, as we have seen, anything can happen with these sorts of hometown decisions. So let's just wait and see. We'll recap it next week. Robert Exel, editor-in-chief of Boxing.com, thank you so much for the time, as always.
My pleasure, Rick.